Hey, MCARBO brother, I'm Chris Nelson, president of MCARBO. Really excited to do some of the new features for 2019. Going forward, all charging handles in 2019 will have a new locking pin that's going to help locate the actual charging handle in the bolt. Rather than the bolt locating on the recoil spring, it's now going to locate on this locking pin, which is going to add about 150 thousandths worth of thickness. Phenomenal part, phenomenal feature. It's going to improve the strength, performance, and rigidity of the actual charging handles across the board, making them all universal and allowing us more options, allowing us more performance and function, which is what we're all striving for anyway. Really excited about this, guys. This idea came from the MCARBO Brotherhood. You guys had the wheels turning, kept them greased the whole time. We kept listening and paying attention to what you guys were coming up with, and this is an adaptation to that. So thank you, MCARBO Brotherhood. Let's get on our tabletop, look at this new part, see how it all locates and works together. Really excited about these new changes for 2019. All MCARBO charging handles going forward are going to have this locking pin, which is great. Now we're going to have a universal notch system on all three charging handles, whether it's a skeletonized, the recoilless, or the double finger charging handle. Really excited about this. The locking pin is actually going to allow us to lock the charging handle into the bolt without trying to align that recoil spring into a notch. Rather than trying to locate that recoil spring into this notch, it's going to be much simpler and easier to just go ahead and put the locking pin in. It'll stay locked and located into the bolt right where we want it exactly every time. It's also going to help improve some of the rigidity of the actual part, not to mention some of the function and performance overall. Really excited about it. We love making improvements, whether it's to factory components or even our own. So really looking forward to this. Let's go ahead and jump into the installation, show you how this works. So here's the skeletonized charging handle with the new locking pin. Now this is a 300 series stainless pin, fantastic part, very strong, rigid. Now this is how it'll locate inside the charging handle. You notice we have this hole that's been in here for some time. Now the locking pin locates in that hole. All right, now there's a little bit of movement here side to side, so you can actually get it in there. All right, it's not going to be that big of a challenge. Now once it's located inside the bolt, there's no side to side movement. All right, and what we're looking for is we want this line right here to be horizontal. So as we're looking down the bolt, you're going to see the line horizontal. Now if it's vertical, we know we need to actually turn it until it's horizontal and it captures in that hole. So that's the point of this notch here, is so that we can use our flathead screwdriver to turn it once it's down inside the bolt, which is really cool, really innovative and unique. Now this is how it's captured. So typically you slide in the charging handle, right? The outer diameter of this pin is just the right size for it to fit in that hole in the bolt. Then we drop this down into the bolt and it locates in there. Now it won't fall out, won't move around. It's locked, steady, and ready to go. All right, so we got one here with the recoilless charging handle in it now. I'll go ahead and just pull this apart real quick. So we're just pulling the buffer out. All right, there's our little recoil pad, the red lifesaver, as we've all called it. All right, go ahead and pull out the recoil spring. And that's what would typically lock that charging handle in place previously, right? And this is the older style geometry here. You can see that pocket's a little bit deeper, right? So we are sacrificing some of the actual strength of the part in order to find a way to locate the recoil spring into the part. Now, we don't have to sacrifice hardly any at all. Now this locking pin will fit in the old style as well. So if this is something that you were interested in, no problem. All right, and it'll go ahead and help improve some of the performance and function of the part. It helps add some rigidity, locks it in place. You won't have to worry about pulling out the recoil spring. Now my charging handle is going to fall out. It's going to already be located, which is good to go. Now what you can see here, some differences between the new style feature is much more shallow, adding more strength to the part. The older style feature has a deeper notch in it, right? So we've made some great improvements here. We want to increase some of the strength, rigidity, and longevity of the part. Most essential. So now, same process though. This is skeletonized with the new feature. We go ahead and we insert it into the bolt, right? With that little notch facing the rear. Now we'll go ahead and remove the buttstock just for simplicity's sake, right? And this is a good idea when you're installing it yourself. All right, now we're going to install the locking pin. And if you can look down that bolt, you see that hole, that little tiny hole there in the center right now, right? Okay, now I'm pushing it all the way up. I want to make sure that that entire face is visible. The reason I'm doing that, so that I can actually get the pin to locate on the face and then also get that small tab of the pin, drop right in. Real simple and easy. So you can use a magnetic tip screwdriver to assist in the process, or take a little bit of synthetic grease with PTFE, just coat it up a little bit. So make sure the pin is at the top, right? And I got the synthetic grease on there to help it stick to the screwdriver, or if you have a magnetic tip, you're good. Now I'm going to drop it straight in, all right? And then once it's in, you have to feel it a little bit. So you're going to be turning it left and right, okay? And you might even move your charging handle up and down a little bit, all right? And you'll know when you're in there. So when you can turn your charging handle left and right, and you can turn your screwdriver left and right, and neither is moving to any extreme degree, you're good, and it's locked and located. You can even try to pull it out. That'll be your next test. All right, we're in there. It's that easy and simple. Now that's one of the benefits to using a non-magnetic tip screwdriver, is it's not going to try to follow you out when you pull the screwdriver tip out of the bolt. So using some of that synthetic grease is enough to get it to locate, and it's good to go. Real simple, fast, and easy. Then you're going to take your recoil spring, drop it right back in. Then take your recoil buffer, slide that on. Now you can move the whole bolt and charging handle assembly forward. Take your buttstock, drop that over top. Take your buffer, go ahead and drop that in. And take your buffer pin. I like to go ahead and just put it inside the hole there on the buttstock, and then I'm going to lay it on the table, push down on it, and use the weight of the firearm to get it to actually drop in place. All right, that's simple and easy. Works phenomenal. Helps increase that rigidity and strength of the part. Really excited about it. Really locks and locates in there real solid. I mean, it doesn't fall out. Now it's captured by an additional part rather than relying on the recoil spring to do all that work holding the charging handle in. Now we've got an even better solution. Well, there you have it, guys. Not only do we do it for factory parts, but we also do it for our own, taking the performance to the highest level possible. Really excited about this and can't wait to hear your feedback. Now all charging handles going forward, 2019 and beyond, are gonna have this fantastic new locking pin to help it stay located inside the bolt rather than it locating on the recoil spring, adding more performance, function, and rigidity to the actual part. Really excited about your feedback for it. Thank you, MCARBO brothers, for your ideas and your support. And as always, happy shooting.